So that's why it really need to you guys have to watch out for the escrow date. That's a really mess situation. I brought it up is because it happened, and listing agent seller side insists to forfeit their initial deposit because you're already exceeding the closing escrow date, and we give you demand to close. You did not close it. I don't know what I end up with, but it's going to be a mess because technically, when you did not remove contingency, buyer has a right to get the initial deposit back. But in between both parties, they have no escrow anymore, right? Because once you're exceeding the escrow date, no escrow date, no escrow, no binding already. So that's why both parties, you should do something for yourself to minimize the mess like this. Sometimes, we don't want to wait anything longer. If we can close sooner, you close it. Did you ever sell the house? A couple weeks later, seller passed away. I do. Twice. Twice. Not one time. Twice. I say, thank God. You know what? It's going to be a mess. If a seller passes away during the escrow, oh, man, that's going to be a huge mess. Especially if the seller doesn't even have a living trust. Then the property seller have to go to probate. But the buyer is doing it in escrow. Boy, it's going to be a mess if both parties have to fight. Yeah, happened to me twice. It is though. Close of escrow, 2 weeks later. Stroke. Heart attack. One is my high school classmate. Oh yeah, that's happened about like 10, 13, 14 years ago. When I sell his house, and he's so glad. He bought the house in outside of Las Vegas in cash, 4-acre lot. Yeah. You think skinny people healthier? Well, he's pretty skinny, German, tall, handsome. I said, huh? The next thing, I heard the other high school friend, the classmate said, "Oh, we need to attend the funeral." What are you talking about? I just talked to him 2 weeks ago. We closed the escrow. We're so happy. He just happened to stroke. Yeah, early 40. Well, no, 13, 14. No, late 30, not even 40. Yeah, I started on this job is about like 35, 34 years old. Yeah, so that's late 30. And the other one just happened last year, so it happened. So I mean, you just don't know. So if you can close the escrow, close it sooner. Don't wait. Don't delay. Because you don't know what. To me, that's happened to the seller. Did you ever thinking about if it happened to the buyer? During the escrow, something happened? It only removed contingency. Oh, no. So those are a lot of things could happen. So that's why we don't want to delay if it's possible. If for example, if we can close it and make sure the seller can rent back or something, I'd rather do that instead of a long escrow. If the longer escrow, any risk could happen. Life is unexpected. Yeah. Okay, so we're starting at 7.1 A1. You can mark. Well, certainly we usually mark seller should pay for the natural hazard zone disclosure report. Individual, including tax. So those are, if they have a metal roofs, they will, showing on the special assessment. tax. Environmental or any others. If you want any other, they do some of a natural hazard disclosure statement. They have more items. It costs more if you're adding more money, so you can filter in others. And which company you would like to use? What kinds of, which company appraisal? The natural hazard disclosures report usually costs about the same, and some may be more detailed than others. And I just prefer, that's personal preference. First American. And the seller pay for the following report: termite inspection. And we didn't really limited, what by which company prepared by. I put a seller's choice. So at least, seller give me the termite inspection report. I know a lot of people were saying, can we wait until request for repair? Yes, we can do that. But but report, you gotta have to say so now. Otherwise, seller is not obligated to give you the report, isn't it? You rather prepare ahead of time instead of later on you regret. Number 3, we certainly mark on buyer should pay for the following report: a general inspection. That is a buyer hire the inspector to check for the whole house. That's a general inspection and prepared by buyer's choice. So those are pretty clear because on 7A 123, those are for inspection area. Inspection report area. We are not talking about who pay for what cost yet, okay? Just the report first. Okay. Then B, okay. Government requirement. The B1, seller, usually that's what we mark, should pay for smoke alarm, carbon monoxide device installation, water heater, bracing if required by law. Prior to close of escrow, seller should provide buyer a written statement of compliance in accordance with the state of local law, unless seller is exempt. I don't think this thing seller can really exempt for anything because even the REO, the real estate owned bank owned property, probate, they probably it's hard to exempt. Definitely standard is no way you can exempt. And those 3 items, it doesn't really cost you a fortune. How much on smoke detector? How much on carbon monoxide detector? Even you don't know how to install it. If a buyer got so lazy, I seen the buyers. Okay, here's all the missing parts. I put it on the kitchen counter. All right, but now we have some issue here. If the buyer is a financing, appraiser want to see it on the ceiling. Whoa, okay, here's inside if say this is a door, on a small detector, usually here's the front entrance, either outside on the top of a ceiling or on top of a door. That's for the small detector on each bedroom. And plus the hallway, outside of a hallway of each, not each bedroom, outside of a bedroom hallways. So if you have, say, 4 bedrooms house, downstairs have 1 bedroom, upstairs have 3 bedrooms. How many small detector you need? Total. 3 bedroom upstairs, 1 bedroom downstairs, 4 bedroom already. How many small detector do you need? 6. Downstairs have 1 bedroom. That's a tricky part. Oh boy, I love it. Lately, some people, put me on the Facebook, on those. Did you see those? Calculate, for the 3 shoes for 20, 1 shoes with the 2, and the other one with the whistle. If you like those challenge, I'll send you that. See, can you get the number correct? I love those challenge, mathematics challenge. So you need total 6, but how many carbon monoxide detectors? Okay, this is small detectors. How many? 2. Usually, we thought, even all the bedroom upstairs, we thought One is enough. Legally, it is legally. But who is the banker? If they want downstairs another one, are you going to install it or not? Yeah, it costs $20 for carbon monoxide detector. Usually, by law, outside of a bedrooms. But if you talk about 6 bedroom, 1 downstairs, 3 upstairs, definitely you need 2. There's no doubt about it, because outside the bedroom, you need a small detectors. But if all the bedroom upstairs, if all 4 bedroom upstairs, legally, that's what I'm saying. Legally, according to the building code, I'm saying 1, minimum 1. But usually, inspector will tell you install 2. Why? Because most of the bank, they want to. You install another one downstairs. That's it. They don't care where you install it. Outside the kitchen, outside the hallway, living room, family, whatever. Another one downstairs. So if that's a situation, I'd rather have the seller install it right away before the appraiser coming out. Because the appraiser will take the photos for the lender. Then if you seller did not install it, appraiser, you can wait until request for repair asking for seller to install. But appraiser gonna come out again. How much gonna cost? Another $150. Who's gonna pay? Buyer. Do you think buyer's gonna be pissed? Yeah. That is taking between the experienced agent and or an unexperienced agent. If you are the buyer's agent, you remind the listing agent, you better have a seller install the appraiser coming out. So the buyer won't pay the extra cost for this. If they just come back for this, believe me, buyers will be pissed. If something else, well, it's hard to say. I have the inspector coming, appraiser coming out for, last time you mentioned for the backyard has an uncovered wire. Extension cord, plug it into the spa. That's a hazard. Why they come out with the appraisal report? Because they think it's not safe. It may cause a fire. Extension cord, they all cover. Yeah. But legally, you should have what? A condor. The aluminum condor, all the way and connected to the spot. Because outside it will have moisture, have rain, The extension cord, it's just not safe from inside the house all the way to outside. Because of that, well, appraiser have to going out again. I did whatever my best, but I learned every time. I said, oh, okay. So if that's a situation, then I better tell the listing agent, hey, look, if the same thing happened when I saw it again, and that's, I back that is through Wells Fargo. Appraiser wrote it up, on their report, because appraiser is more like the inspector now. Is for banks, they are the eyes for the bank, for the lender. Then if you deal with the FHA loan appraiser, oh boy, that's even harder. They have to be, according to the FHA loan guideline, appraiser have to even look at more items. So, I mean, is it the house habitable? Anything you need to fix? A lot of things. Even, if I know a lot of Asian, they like to put the raw iron, outside the windows. That's okay. You can put it. That's fine. Some even they put the raw iron gate inside the sliding door. That's fine. But you gotta have a release, emergency release. If you put the windows, sliding door doesn't have this issue or the code, but the window, the bedroom window, if you put the raw iron bar, okay, or gate outside the window or inside the window, you gotta have a quick release. Because when the fire break out, do you think, can you get out? I don't know if outside has been fire. Then I'm inside the bedroom. What should I do? I close the door. I cannot even get out. Usually you can knock out the window, right? Climb out the window, but you lock yourself in. And general inspector would not say that anything, but appraiser will. The wrought iron doesn't have a release inside the bedroom. Then what happened? Okay, either seller have to remove the wrought iron gate or bar, or you need to install the quick release so the bar can open. All right. Otherwise, lender will not fund it. Can you close the escrow? You can't. So that's why we describe when everybody can open the door showing the property, any agent, no big deal. But once you open the escrow, it takes the experienced agent to hold the buyers, pretty much like hold the buyer's hand step by step and go through the whole thing. You think you don't have an accident happen? Boy, you just prepare. Either if you get a tough time to begin with, that's okay. You know the smooth time is coming up. But if everything's so smooth to begin with, they might start worrying. Man, never change. Every time it's like when at the end something happened. When you got so smooth in the front. Did you ever go in a flight without the turbulence? I fly so much. Every time I have a turbulence, I got so used to it. So that's why when other coach, when we attending their the seminar, they say we are like a pilot on the flight. When they open escrow, we take off. Well, that's dangerous though. It is. Sometimes when they open escrow, anything could happen. Another thing is when they close escrow, it's like what? Landing. That's also dangerous too. Anything could happen, right? Okay. But somewhere in between, have a turbulence. But you gotta trust me. I will get you landed safely. Do you have the confidence to tell your buyer that? B2. We also mark as sellers should pay for the cost of compliance with any other minimum mandatory government inspection and report if required as a condition of a closed escrow under any law. I know those are, and that's a 2-1 and 2-2. I also mark sellers should pay for the cost of compliance with any of the minimum mandatory government retrofit standard required as a condition of closing escrow under any law, whether the work is required to comply with it before or after close of escrow. I'll go through this, everything that you know what is actually a compliance with. Buyer should be provided within the time specified in the paragraph 14A a copy any required government conducted or point of the sales inspection report prepared pursuing to this agreement or in anticipating of this sales of the property. Did anybody selling the property in the LA, Los Angeles city or nearby city? Well, so easy. Diamond Bar, Walnut, Hacienda High, Roland High, or Ontario, Eastville, no problem. Ain't got no city inspection. Used to be Motor Park, they have city inspection. They removed that. El Monte still have a city inspection, yes. Or Pasadena. But those city inspection still okay because those are city inspection. They are coming out to check those more like a retrofit items or basic items. Oh, definitely unpermitted. Those are out of a question. Yes. Well, they will look at it if you any area on the unpermitted. All I can say is good luck. So that's why on the B21, that is, for the regular city inspection. Okay, seller should pay for any compliances if the city wants you to install. For example, Northridge, the city require you, every resident, when you do the transaction, you need to install. That's what I heard. I never selling any property in Nordstrom, but that's what I heard. You need to have the gas shut out, automatic gas shut out valve in Northridge, because they have an earthquake over there. In city, they passed their law. I don't know, did they ever remove that guideline? But that's what we had before, what we heard. So that is considered a city, right? Minimum mandatory compliances, even from the small detector, couple of side. Those are the state. Now we get into the city. So those are minimum. Then it's a B2. Whether the work is required to be compliant before or after a COE. Because some of the items used to be in the morning part, they were allowed because they got a lot of items. When we, like morning part El Monte, let's put it El Monte, say, we have an inspection. It could be from the kitchen hood, the gauge, the cable is too small, for example. They would say so. When we have the morning park is the even the house number, because the townhouse or house number is missing, they would say so. Oh, broken glass or cracked glass in the front window, they would even say so. I say, so many small items. Sellers say, because I helped a previous client, not previous, it was my client, it's about probably 10 years ago. They bought the morning park properties. And the seller say, so assist, no repair whatsoever. So we do the general inspection. I say, well, they got some item need to repair. Okay, I got it. But don't worry. They need a city inspection. Okay. So city inspection report coming out is almost the same as those items, what we see at the general inspection report. Then we ask the seller, you fix it. So I said, so assist. I said, are you going to close it or not? I told the listing agent, are you planning to close or not? It doesn't matter from us or from anyone else. That's what? A city compliance. Who's going to pay for it? I already market, seller. Don't tell me, so I says, no repair. I market here. Is that a trap? Yeah. So that's why if it's not apply, usually, some of the listing agent, they will remove like, oh, 7B2 1 or 2. Because 3 they cannot remove. They have no choice. Okay? They cannot say buyer need to take care of that or seller need to take care of that. Or they will say it's not applied to that. And if the because I'm back to morning park, that case, the seller said, yeah, but I mean, you guys can fix it later. I said, no, we're not. You don't do the repair, we don't close it. Or we cancel. Well, you could leave it blank. It's up to you, because some other agent leave it blank, like South of Pasadena, and what happened. And one, that's a true case. It happened on the curve, on the street curve, broken. And according to South Pasadena's a city guideline, that has to be repaired by the owner. And that's cost about $2,500. Because he forgot to mark seller. Seller said, no, I'm not going to repair. Oh, well, somebody going to have to repair that. It should be. So I say, okay, then either you pay for the $2,500, or that's okay. Seller say, you can go ahead and cancel, no problem. Because next time, a listing agent will make sure to tell the buyer's agent, hey, here's the $2,500 you're going to have to repair. Because you only get a report, right? Yeah. So being a listing agent, we don't know. And some of a seller, they won't spend the money to call the city coming out to do the inspection until you open escrow. Sometimes because of that, the escrow delay. Seller delay the escrow, not buyer. Especially El Monte, sometimes you need to come out first time, second time. If second time still doesn't go, you have to come out third times. And who make the schedule on that? City. Then if you talk about 30-day escrow, if they come out third time, it's hard to close. It may be delayed to 45 days. Before you have that permit, you cannot do that. You cannot transfer the title. Or buyers willing to issue a promissory letter, talk to the city and say, I will complete it within 90 days. That means after COE, close of escrow. But I will encourage buyers, don't do that. Unless the buyers say, I really, really, really want this house. Okay, fine. That's fine. That's fine. It's all about money talk, right? That's why, you know, the American way, show me the money. No money ain't got no honey. So that's why the we don't encourage to do that, but they do give you the option. Buyer could complete it after close of escrow, usually within 90 days. But on the number 3, usually when you deal with the Los Angeles city, they have not just the whatever the mandatory, they have they need a every time when you do the transaction, they gotta have a low flow shower head, water conservation toilet. As the toilet is not comply, who's gonna replace the toilet? Teller! Or you guys have to agree. So that's why buyer should be provided within the time specified in 14A. So that means seller have to give the buyer a city inspection report on within 14A. Later I'll tell you that's a within contingency period. 17 days. Within that, they have to give it an inspection report. Otherwise, seller did not disclose the minimum requirement, not just a disclosure statement. If the deal with the cities like Los Angeles City, Sherman Oak, Woodland Hills, Burbank, Venice, they all have guidelines followed by the city inspection. And that's a Los Angeles City inspection. That's the most challenge and hardest. Especially if you deal with even on the income property with the rent control. Let's not even talk about what the requirement is. Landlord also have a license. Landlord need a license for what? Being a landlord. What do you mean landlord need a license for being a landlord? Well, you're making the money, right? That's you running the business because of rental property, right? So city need to collect something. So you need a landlord license, okay? Annually, you have to renew. Yeah. Not even talk about rent control. Rent control, that's even worse. If you want to kick out with the tenant, because each year you better increase the rent on 3%. Otherwise, 10 years later, you cannot say, okay, because I did not increase the rent for 10 years, can I increase 30%? No, you still only can increase 3%. Let's talk about rent control. And if you doesn't want to renew the lease, or you want to let the tenant go because you want to sell the property or something happen, you need to even compensate the tenant. And that's what I heard lately. The price just gone up. Anybody, the tenant is 55, I think it's 55 years old or less, you need to compensate per unit, okay? If the tenant, the signed tenant on the contract, at 55 years under, that's need about 10 grand. If over 55 years old, I think need about 15. Or I don't know, the payment may be even more. So every time if we deal with that, we check on the city guideline right away. Oh boy. Because if you got 4 units, how much extra cost. Sometimes buyer need to pay. Because we do have a coworker has an issue in the Chinatown. Chinatown have rent control. Did you know that? But the good thing is, the rent control only applied the building before 1978. Oh, same like a lab best paint. That's easy to remember, all right? That's right. So being an investor, why they need those old building for? Knock out and rebuild the brand new one. The 8 or 9 or 10 units one, I can probably, make a taller one become, I can, build it for like 20 units. Then when it's a brand new, it got no rent control. Not only I can charge more. But that's one of from our coworker, that escrow. Well, they've been back and forth, canceled about 4 or 5 different times because one of a unit, the tenant, he is not going to sign the tenant estoppel to release that. Even they are willing to compensate. Each unit, you have to sign a tenant estoppel. They say, okay, what the especially financing lender, they need to see that. Because that one unit, I say, okay, you want me to sign it? Pay me 100 grand. That could happen. So that's why later on when I cover the lease agreement or income property, okay, income property, later on if you guys, submit the offer on income property, make sure when you submit the offer, you need to make sure you need to remember you mark that little check mark. Tenant need to provide a tenant estoppel. You got a little check mark. I'll show you later on. And when you lease the property out, unit or any condo, house, or anything, when you submit the lease agreement, that I will cover because one of a paragraph, they require the tenant need to cooperate. They need to sign the tenant estoppel. So you better use our CAR form instead of any other lease form. That's why. They cover a lot of things. Later on, I will cover that. So I just brought it up. So that's why you need a copy of requirement government conduct a point of state inspection report prepared pursuing this agreement. So that means within the contingency period, buyer need to receive the city inspection from the seller. But I know some of the seller wait until the very last day, 17 days, give you the city inspection report, and tell you, oh, you need to remove next day. No. What's that? Another law apply. Whatever the disclosure you deliver to the buyer by mail, you have 5 days to review. So you better prepare ahead of time if you're the listing agent. If you could. If the seller got so cheap, you better see if they can push them right after they open escrow. Do it right away. Because when you go to the city, inspectors schedule for city inspection, you don't even expecting when you schedule this inspector will come out next day. No, at least a week after. But you need to pay city first. You need to schedule appointment, pay. No payment, no appointment. But a lot of sellers say, I don't even know is that my property going to be sold or not. So if they are not willing to do it before open escrow, then you better do it right on the open escrow day. Go down, have the seller go down the city to schedule. It's not by phone call. Go down the city hall. Yeah. You need to go to the city hall, pay the payment, then you make the schedule. Then they will come out. And you better wait for them. Hey, They will give you the time frame window. You better have somebody open the door. You miss it, oh, too bad. You want to schedule again, pay it again. Because you miss it. So that's why if you know some of a city, they require a city inspection. Usually I would kind of give the friendly reminder to the buyer. You buy in the city, later on when you sell, those are the same thing you have to go through, because what seller go through now, that is going to be your future. When you want to someday you want to sell the property, that is going to be same thing you got to go through. And that's an extra cost, extra time frame. You need to prepare. So kinds of friendly reminding them. If you don't like it, too bad, then don't buy that around that city. Well, just like, El Monte, what's their sales tax rate now? 10%. Santa Monica, their sales tax rate, what, 10.5? You don't like it, then don't buy it. Because if you consume, if you buy anything in that area, how come the sales tax is, I thought it should be 9.5. Too bad, that's a city. City rule is supersede the county rule. So the sales tax, it can be vary between city to city. So if you look at it, El Monte, that's what I know, El Monte and Santa Monica, their tax rate is higher than the county normal 9.5%. 1% more. But if you live in that city, did you go shopping? You go outside of a city, maybe supermarket or something else. Sometimes you don't just buy there. So that's how they can collect more sales tax. That's on the city. We buy a house, we don't pay the sales tax, but we do have, okay, we'll continue. On the bottom, you'll see that. Okay. T, your question, I'll keep that. I will cover. Okay, C here. Escrow and title. Buyer and seller is paid for escrow fee. Now I do a 50/50. That means half and a half, or you can put half and half. Used to be I put it on their own cost with their normal cost. And I found out that may not be really protected to the buyers. Why? Because I found out some of the escrow company, they are so sneaky. They tell the seller, hey, if you open the escrow with us, we'll only charge you $500. Do you think $500 they can make it survive on the seller part? But how much they are going to charge buyer? $2,000 or $2,500 to offset a seller part. Because every time we do escrow, do what? Seller's choice, right? If you want to get the offer, especially multiple offers, and the escrow want to get a business, what do? They get you. So that's why I kind of changed the way I put on the wording. I said, okay, 50/50. The escrow. If you want to charge us 500, you better charge us 500. I don't care how you make it survive or not. You already promised a seller. Fine. 50/50 or half to half. That's fair. Then you ask the buyer, would you want to continue or cancel? No. But I mean, I heard how the escrow, they make a business like that. So I have to change the wording, what I put. I say, boy, how can they make a survive for $500? Encounter this one? Count through? No, I did not for myself, because I look at it on buyer's part. You kind of know what is the normal, escrow charge. Well, certainly, if it's like $1.5 million property, it probably costs $3,000. That's normal. But if $500,000 property, it still costs $3,000. Wait a minute. Now you know something wrong. Seller did not pay their share, or seller only paid $500. $500,000 property, at the most, I see the most expensive one, probably $2,000 or close to $2,000 for a $500,000 property. Well, right? Yeah. Yeah, I can 开始跳. I said, wait a minute. Did you follow my purchase agreement? Because that is a binding contract. And I put 50-50. Everybody would know. That's have to have. You want to charge $500 to listing agent? I mean, to seller? You better, yeah, charge me the same. But another issue, for example, we do have a coworker ask me this question after the open escrow. Buyer found a cheaper escrow. And they recommend seller, why don't we use this escrow instead of yours? Seller said, no, I insist want to use mine. And buyer's not happy. Why? I try to save you money. Why you still want to insist to using your escrow? They're kind of fishy. Unless that escrow can provide their cost to both parties. I say, this is how much we charge. But you know, some of the escrow, they get the discount price, you know. For example, they really now they even approach the buyer, say, okay, yeah, even somebody call and try to screw the buyer the transaction, say, okay, we only charge you $500. Oh, buyer side. And then you ask the escrow officer, how much you going to charge the seller side? $500, same thing. Okay, if that's what they really say so, then you can present to the seller, see if they're willing to switch the escrow company. But that's the issue. Our coworker representing on the buyer side, and the escrow say, okay, we'll do it at 500 both. That's a small property, condo or townhouse. Then seller said, no, I insist I want to use mine. Even I'm willing to pay more. But buyer's not willing to pay more on the escrow fee. But how much really more? Yeah, probably, most likely, 1,000 or 1,200. I don't know. You know, a few $100 more. But buyers, because that's why a lot of people may ask me, do we have a choice on the 1B? Escrow holder should be, can we have can you put the escrow company's name? Yeah. Or you can put buyer's choice? Yeah, you could. But what market is what we have right now? A seller's market. Do you think seller will accept your offer, or they may not counter on this part? Yeah, obviously. Not if it's not the seller's, or if the listing agent really, because I have the issue, I have the experience before. The listing agent is really nice. They say, okay, we choose the escrow, but I mean, you guys want to choose a title? Ooh. Oh, okay. Usually the title company choose by seller too. But I mean, so you can choose a title yourself because later on you got to deal with it. Okay. But I really hardly had the seller willing to give up on this part. Escrow holder, you know, usually seller they choose. You could write a buyer's choice, or you can put it on whatever the company's name. Did you ever receive the offer and they put the escrow name on it? Yeah. That pretty much telling you as a buyer's choice, are you willing to do so? If that's a property happen at, for example, a Victorville or Palmdale, yeah, I would accept it. Those are the hard people. That's an area hard to sell. You rather compromise a buyer's selection, buyer's choice, instead of, yeah, if you're selling the property here in the Hacienda High, Rolong High, yeah, most likely seller's choice. You don't like it? Tough luck. Next. Or you can counter the buyer. You don't like it, then don't buy it. You better accept it. So that's why, you know, if you could communicate with the listing agent, all the detail like this, if your buyer is really concerned. Sometimes, you know, I will communicating with the listing agent, because you see if the seller, where they want to move and when, how many days of escrow, or what kinds of term and condition. Because I even propose, you know, did you ever propose to the seller, I say, okay, we close the escrow in 30 days, but you know the seller, they haven't even found their next replacement property yet. And even listing agent tells, oh, they have no contingency, they can move out. But we talk about it's a 30 day, yeah, 30 days, fine. They are, they are looking their property, consistently, but they haven't opened the escrow yet, right? Because they have to open the escrow. They are selling the house first, then they can open their purchase house escrow. But do you think 30 days? That's really rush, really, really rush. Then you can be creative. Usually we say, okay, when they close of escrow, we deliver the key. Or close of escrow, we give the seller 3 days to move. But you can be creative. You give the seller, I'll give you 15 days free to move. That sounds suddenly become like 45 days. But it's a 30-day escrow. I get my money to my pocket first. Then you give another 15 days to the seller if your buyer willing to do that. Right? You gotta have to be creative. Everybody do every time they think 3 day, 5 day maximum, that's it. But if you put in the seller's shoes, can they move out in time? Some people, they rather do it. They may not choose the highest offer, but they may choose the best term. Did I ever tell you that? Right? So that's one of the terms what we're talking about. We could shorten the contingency period, be creative, and extend the stay for the seller for free. They say, why not? If the only $3,000 or $5,000 difference, sometimes they may just choose a lower offer with the better terms. Not just you have more money on the price or more down payment. So be careful what we are dealing with. Okay. So don't be a stereotype agent. Every time we have a new game plan, new strategy, how can be a winner? Because if you represent as a buyers, you get them smoothly closed, you are the hero. Otherwise, you are nobody. They may fire you after that. Okay? If you 3 times, they cannot get the property. Possibly they may fire you. So when the first time you did not get it, sometimes I did it purposely. You want them to learn the lesson. I want to teach them. You have to listen to me. If you don't listen to me, why you want me to be your agent for? I'm your real estate doctor and I'm your real estate attorney. The position, character is like that. Did you ever listen to your doctor or or listen attorney? Attorney said, well, you can fight your own case. Yeah, big deal. Yeah. So we'll continue on that. C, the parties should be within 5 days after received, signed, return escrow holder general provision. That's what? Escrow instruction. Used to be doesn't have that statement. This is for the new purchase agreement. They come out this 5 days when the escrow give you the escrow instruction. The escrow instruction usually you will see that it's an escrow supplemental instruction. Why they call supplemental? Because the main contract is our purchase agreement, and the escrow is only supplemental. They just make it more details. It's a supplemental instruction. So you need to sign it within 5 days. You have no choice, or whatever the days. If they want to shorten that or extend, it's up to you. But on the default, it's 5 days. If you did not follow, if you did not sign an escrow instruction back, some seller, they are pretty sneaky. It doesn't matter seller or buyer. If they did not sign it back, the other party have a right to cancel the agreement. Sure. Because breach the contract, isn't it? The contract said 5 days. Both parties agree. And after you receiving, and you still sign it, it's not signing after 1 week later. Some people even wait until 10 days. You know, some people, they say, for example, like, you know, how many days of our initial deposit have to be in the escrow? Later on, we'll cover this, you know, kind of ask me, huh? 3, what day? After acceptance, but 3, that's right. Business day, working day. So if you accept the offer on Friday, what is the deadline? You have to be receiving initial deposit. Wednesday. Yeah. And the listing agent, you like to accept it Friday? Sure, it's up to you. I had that situation before, right before the open house on Saturday. Because buyer give me something I cannot refuse, and buyer's agent say, you better accept it, or else we'll give you something is over asking. The seller say, okay, let's do it. But I already announced the world. I say, I'm going to do the open house. You know, you can cancel. This case, it is. We accepted on Friday. Cancel the Saturday open house. Bad boy, right? Bad boy. Yeah. So I can enjoy my life better, right? Yeah. Not only I work on both sides as a dual agent, 6% commission. Then I don't have to do the open house either. Yeah. I got this offer within 5 days. Boom. And I'm so lucky. Thank God. This is the only offer I got. It is. I have no multiple offers, you know. I have no multiple offers. Really. You think every time you have multiple offers? Not really. This area is a high HOA price townhouse area. Buyer willing to pay over asking. Seller glad to accept it. And both parties happy. Whew. Yeah. Sometimes we need some luck. Yeah. Then we can get the red envelope even after that from buyer. Thank you to the agent. Now we give the money to the buyer. No, buyer need to give the money to me and the meal. Treat me a meal, a dinner. That's what we call professional agent. You cannot. If you only receive one offer, you can only counter them single counter. You cannot counter them multiple counter. You cannot. I know even what we heard, they say, the other offer may come in. Can we issue the multiple counter to the buyer? The answer is no, legally, no. Because you gotta have to receive the offer first. Who knows? Okay. When doing the mediation, you'll know. Yeah. Because when we've been there, done that. When you're doing the mediation, show me. If you do multiple counter, you better counter 2. You cannot just counter 1 buyer. You have to counter 2 buyers. Then who are you going to counter? The other offer that doesn't even come in yet. Who are you going to counter? It's okay. We learned from the hard way before. I just tell you now. All right? You don't like to go to mediation. All right? Certainly, Kwang goes so many times. We don't like that either. Being a manager, we don't like to be going to the mediation either. All right? No. Because legally, if you really the right way to do, let's answer your question. The right way to do like this, if like you got other offer coming in and the seller hasn't signed the counter yet, for example, the single counter, what do? You issue withdrawal counter. the form. Change to multiple sellers counter right away. Have seller sign it. Then text, email, call the buyer's agent. We change to the multiple counter now. And we withdraw the previous single counter because now we receive other offer. That's the proper way to do it. You receive it, tough luck. You gotta have to sell this buyer. And other offer coming in is only the backup offer. So that's why the only thing the seller has a right, seller also have the right and the time to wait. It's up to the seller. See if you have more offer coming in. That's its catch-22. But the buyers also, they say, if you don't sign it, I may accepting other offer. Do you think buyers submit a multiple offer to other property too? Sure. Unless you know this is the only one on the market. Oh, okay. Close it. Where am I? Okay, yeah, the counter offer. Okay, so the proper way you did that is the you have to do, the counter offer. You get, if the buyer's already submitted the counter, and make sure as a buyer's agent, that's an important thing. Make sure the buyer's agent submitted to the listing agent right away, and make sure the listing agent received that. Same thing. You send an email and send a text to the listing agent. Even I call the listing agent. Did you receive my signed buyer's counter offer? Okay. And usually as a buyers, if you submit it on all different counter, yeah, we can submit a multiple purchase agreement. That's buyer's right. Unless you know this is only one for sale in the community. That's why, especially in a townhouse, we sometimes kind of wait. If we have a competitor, we may not want to be on the market right away. Wait until they enter in the escrow, boom, coming up. Because same thing, after I open the escrow, the other listing, boom, coming up. Identical floor plan, identical price on the asking price. Yeah, the other agent is waiting on mine too. We don't want to kill each other. Yeah, that's smart. I do respect that. That's a smart agent, because I would do the same thing. If I see something, just right on the market. You rather wait a few days for a week before you put on the market right away. You tell sellers, say, stand by. Let's see how's this go. How's this one doing? So this one is in escrow. Then we become the only one. Then if those people, the multiple offer people, if they do have a multiple offer, the other buyer may turn to ours. Instead, we compete each other and killing each other. And end up, the price may not be, you are not representing the sellers for the best of their interest. Okay, those are more like a strategy when you are within the community. Okay, and here the C2. We ask the seller to pay for owner's title insurance policy specified in paragraph 13E. Yeah, usually that's what we will do that. And the owner's title policy to be issued by, well, also seller's choice. But sometimes, listing agent may give you, say, why don't you choose yours? It's up to you. Can you choose your own title policy? Yeah. You can put on the title insurance company's name on it. Buyer should pay for any title insurance policy insuring buyer's lender unless otherwise agreed in writing. So that means you gotta have to be, buyers, if the finance, they have to pay their own lender's title insurance. Okay, D. This is the important part. Other cost. Here's a cost. You see that? Boy, everything's a seller. Tough to being a seller, isn't it? Think about when you are the buyer, you pay nothing. So that's why you guys are friendly reminding the buyer, when you sell that property, this is the same thing. But other buyer will ask you. Here, seller should pay for the county transferring tax. You say, do the buyer need to pay the sales tax? No. But seller, we ask the seller to pay for the county transferring tax and D2, CD transferring tax if it's applied. If it do have a CD transferring tax. That's a tax. Who pay? Seller. Can buyer pay for that? Can the seller counter buyer to pay for that? Sure. Am I received those counter before? Yes. Very rarely. I have the seller. Oh, you pay for the county transferring tax or city transferring tax. Oh, man. Okay. Let's see how much. If the buyers agree, fine. Especially if you deal with those back the good old day when you have a short sale, you have bank-owned property. Boy, they tell you pay everything. Sometimes buyers even pay for the seller's escrow proceed. I mean, total closing transaction. Are you going to buy it or not? You pay your own title insurance. You pay the seller's escrow fee. You pay transferring. They end up everything paid by buyer. Because you are dealing with what? Bank-owned. You want to buy it or not? Or you or short sale. Because that's a lender's counter. You only get the discount price already. Then you pay for the seller. Seller has no money. And being a lender, they're only victim. We're only losing a big money. Buyer, you pay something. Just like, if like the HOA, usually sometimes we deal with a short sale. Sometimes you need to pay for even whatever the unpaid balance for the HOA due. It could be thousands and thousands of dollars. Or CD citation. Oh, been there, done that, 20 grand. That's not cheap either. Because the delay and cost of CD, adding up the penalty, $1,000 each day, $1,000 each day for delay, maximum 20,000. So they reach the maximum. And the bank say, I'm not going to pay for that. Whoever the buyer, you got to have to deal with the CD, 20 grand citation. Or sometimes even property tax. Short sale. I have no money to pay anything. Either I let it foreclose or you want to pay for me. Or sometimes, we kind of have to get like, sellers say, can you buy my couch for $20,000? On a short sale. Oh, I see. What's it telling you? Somebody willing to pay $20,000 to me on the cash on the table. I know that's illegal. I never heard about that. You better be careful on both sides, agent, listing agent, buyer's agent. I said, oh, we never heard about that. That's between buyer and seller. We don't know. Let them deal with them. That's fine. Because been there, done that. Okay. We never said about that. We never did about it. It's up between buyer and seller. Yeah. So buyer did pay seller 20 grand after close of escrow. Otherwise, the seller is not going to sign a grantee transfer. So that means after seller sign a grantee transfer, buyer given the cash. Right on the table. Sign it, here's money. That's how we did. How do we transfer, right? Seller's not going to sign a grantee transfer unless Oh, that's my couch. You buying my couch for 20 grand. Yeah. Number 3, seller should pay for the homeowner association transfer fee. Usually we ask a seller to do that. Number 4 is no exception. Now, look at it. Seller should pay HOA fee for preparing document required to be delivered by civil code. So that means HOA documents have to be paid by the seller after open escrow right away. You cannot deduct it from the buyer's initial deposit. No more. Seller have to leave the usually credit card number or deliver the check to escrow, so escrow can order the HOA document. Some of us seller, they're cheap. They say, "Can I order yourself by ourselves?" You could, but the seller order the HOA document package is different than the escrow order the document package because they have more document need to provide by the escrow. Depend on who is ordering the package. It could be cost less by seller. That's why seller, they want to order by themselves. But the issue is, when seller order that package, it's okay, you give it to the buyer. When you give it to escrow, what happened? It doesn't go through lenders. Lenders said, it's not enough document for us. You have to submit rest of a document. But HOA department, they say, we can only order a package. You cannot order separately. So seller have to pay the escrow again and order a complete package. So seller order twice, spend money twice. That's what I heard. I haven't, experienced before, but that's what I heard. Some of HOA do that. So don't let the seller order by themselves because later on they may end up cost more. Then sooner you order the package so you don't have to pay for the expediting fee. If you wait until the last minute to order the package, the seller have to pay the expediting fees extra $75 to $150. It happened. That's every time you deal with the HOA issue. Sometimes the buyers and the order like the or lender order the say like condo certificate. Same thing. Do it early. Have the buyer pay the lender or escrow, order the condo certificate because you are financing. You need the condo certificate to pay for that. So that condo certificate, it takes some time. If you want to get a regular response, it takes about a week to 10 days. Unless you want to pay extra $150, I'll give you the answer in 2 days. Because I need a manpower to fill in those questionnaire on the condo certificate. Particularly on this community, costs about $750 just for the number 4. It's not cheap for the package. Hey, you don't want to order? Fine. So be it. Do you want to sell it or not? So that's why getting more and more. Even if you deal with the Irvine, that's easily cost over $1,000 or more. Especially they have 2 HOA or even 3 HOA. Then if there's 2 or 3 HOA, each HOA need to pay. Get the documents. Yeah. No, you cannot pass it up. Documents already. Yes, you can reuse it. Sometimes it depends. Sometimes we need to update. If you're more than 3 months, you need to update the package again. If the seller doesn't like that, they say, why you buy the condo or townhouse with the HOA to begin with? I know. When you buy anything, townhouse, condo, you have to deal with it, HOA. Whether you like it or not, they are the king. They can even foreclose your property if you don't pay their due. Oh, yes. I saw that before. HOA foreclosed the property because the owner did not pay the HOA due for about half year or a year. They have the right to close it. Yes, they do. They put on the deed. So if you look at a grantee, oh yeah, they have a right to foreclose.
Did they decide which loan program like FHA they don't like it?
What do you talk about the FHO?
Do they decide the loan program?
HOA?
Yeah.
No, they don't. They don't decide. No, they have to be okay. If the FHA, you need to ask. I know. I rephrase your question as: is this community HOA is approved by FHA loan? A lot of them they are not approved by FHA loan. As a whole community, it's not your issue. So you better, if the FHA loan, you better have a lender to check on that community. You can actually now, most of lender, they can probably check online or through their system and see if this community, if the FHA approved community, FHA loan approved community. But some of a community, if they are way more than, for example, the ratio. You see, now we're gonna have to talk about the HOA, if the rental and owner-occupied ratio. Still the same, if the over 50% of the rental for the investment loan. If the rental ratio more than the owner-occupied, so more than 50%, somebody want to invest this community, the regular conventional loan will not qualify. So you gotta have to do some special kinds of loan, hard money, I don't know, maybe, or private lender. If the owner occupy, you want to occupy this unit, they can be up to 70% of a rental ratio. Then 30% of owner occupy. Then it can still go through. So before you put on the listing, you better ask the HOA what's the rental and owner-occupied ratio, because that's when you are accepting the offer. Are they going to go through or not? Because this ratio is going to be showing on condo certificate. Condo certificate. Because 5 different categories will kill your deal. One is the owner and rental occupied ratio will kill your deal. And the other 4 is master insurance coverage, see if it's enough. Delinquency of the delinquency ratio. See how many the owner and the whole community did not pay their HOA due. That's a delinquency ratio. And the reserve, the HOA reserve, is it enough? Usually minimum, the lender, they like to see at least 10% of a total collection of your due, as a reserve, because you need to repair everything on that. Okay, those are what actually kill the deal. For the owner occupy, master insurance, delinquency. I know 5 different items. Where did I miss it? Owner occupy ratio for the master insurance coverage. Okay, delinquency and the delinquency. Then also, what's next though? How come my brain is not turning? Delinquency. The other one is the
percentage of the rent.
No. Owner occupy ratio, delinquency, master insurance cover. Oh, reserve. Okay. After reserve, they have one more thing as the 5 different items. After the reserve, you have one more. Is will kill the deal. That's the litigation. If the HOA have a lawsuit, will kill the deal. If the owner, any owner suing their own HOA, lender may not fund the loan. unless you can show them a approval letter. I mean, from the HOA attorney and say, if the litigation, everything happen, if the cost is not going to be coming out from the reserve, that's all the lender concerned. So if you have litigation, though there's a 5 items, they will kill the deal for if the property with the HOA. So that's the owner occupy and rental ratio. The other one, delinquency, for the delinquency ratio within the community. Then master insurance coverage, and also reserve, see if it's enough. And last thing is litigation with the HOA. D5, we also mark it as a seller should pay HOA fee for preparing all documents other than those requirements civil code. If we have other documents, usually we mark it. So basically, seller pay almost everything. The only thing buyer pay for any HOA certification fee. See, this 4 and 6 ain't got no exception now. They're adding the number 6. When they update it, usually they only have 4. When this document, they just come out 2 years ago. And now they're adding number 6. I say buyer to pay the HOA certificate fee, because some buyers, they argue with, wow, I have to pay a certificate fee. Well, are you going to financing or not? Even the cash buyer, can they order the certificate? Sure. As long as you pay buyer. Because some of a community, they are exceeding 70% of a rental ratio. Unfortunately, you can only accept cash offer. Any finance offer, most likely will not go through. Because that is a sum of community. You have to make sure when you double check with the listing agent. When I'm the listing agent for those community, I will put it on the agent remark. So I have to warn the buyer's agent, say, you better let your lender know this is exceeding 70% rental. The owner occupies less than 30%. If you know, are you sure you can financing? Because I don't want those, deal when it's open escrow, you're gonna cancel. I told the buyer's agent, nobody like to wasting time. Not my time, not your time, isn't it? If this community is not suitable for you, let the lender know first. Have them to check on it. If they can finance it. If some of a private lender, hard money, yeah, sometimes they don't care. But if the regular standard conventional loan, yes, they do care a lot. That's whose guideline is that? It's a Fannie Mae guideline. That most of the banks follow, isn't it? Yeah. So that's a different than what you're talking about. The other one, the FHA loan approval, that's even worse. Yeah. So if you want to get both qualified, especially in Asian community, good luck. Most likely it's going to happen. I already know so many community, they can only, if you're lucky, you can, accepting by just the owner occupy. Investment, hardly, no. Yeah. And they already have, same thing like Hacienda Pine, that's a community, you can only accepting cash offer, no financing offer. Because over 75% are rental. Who told you that? HOA. HOA said, don't wasting time with the financing. I said, I know. I talk to HOA quite often. If you, listed the property over there before, I said, don't accepting anything but cash offer. Yes, some of a community, like Diamond Bar, they may, if you're buying a property in North Diamond Bar, I know some of HOA try to limit it on that. Do you know what they did? First 2 years, your purchase cannot lease it, cannot rent it. Are you going to buy those property or not? Oh boy. That's why North Diamond Bar, their townhouse price is kind of stuck there. Because HOA do have that guideline, new guideline added in. The first 2 years, the buyer, if you own the property more than 2 years, yes, you can rent it. But if you're the new buyer coming in to purchase, the first 2 years, you gotta have to sign it through the HOA. You need to sign this guideline. If you rent it, bang. They have the right to kick the tenant out. or you sell the property again. So that's why they're kind of stuck on the price. Yeah, thank you to remind me that, because it happened. The North Simon Bar, if you go those community passing on Golden Spring, to Sylvan Glen, I got out of townhouse. Yeah. Be careful. Some of HOA, they do have that guideline. So that means you can only sell to owner occupy buyer. No investor. You eliminate some of the buyers already. So that's how the HOA protect their ratio on the financing ratio. So the whole community can still be financing. And HOA, I said that point, they don't care. You do whatever you want. It's okay. So it's different. Number 7, seller should pay for any private transfer fee if applicable. Usually we don't see that, but just in case, because some of the community, especially in the Orange County, for example, some of the community, they may put the donation to some of the third party or foundation to preserve the wild animal, because there's some of, they do have a swamp, they do have a forest, something like a close by area, okay? And the community, part of a deal when those when they build those houses, maybe you have to deal with the city or some foundation, they would volunteer to give it a donation. Could be a few $100s per year per unit or per house. So those are, make sure they also have because anything, they all have a transfer fee. Unfortunately, nobody work for free, including us. Yeah, kind of. Without closing an escrow, we all work for free, basically. We are not like other job. You go out, appraiser, you go out, hey, you pay. Inspector, they are going out, they get paid. I don't care do you close escrow or not. So do that. Doctor, same thing. Did they cure your cold, you still get paid. If the attorney get paid, it doesn't matter they win your case or not. They still get paid, but not us, unfortunately. Yeah, we are more vulnerable, but it's okay. That's the nature of our career. You have to accept the way it is. Otherwise, don't step in. It's a deep, deep, deep water. A lot of people doesn't know. You better learn how to swim. That's why 85% of a newcomer, they cannot survive at the first 3 years. That's the current statistics showing through the NAR. Number 8. All right, this is an important area. This is the area you fill in yourself. Number 8, seller should pay for. This is something I put it right here. I don't wait until the request for repair. I put a termite clearances and repair completion, section 1, with 1 year warranty. So the termite clearances, that's considered treatment. The repair, that means consider as the replacing the wood frame, or damaged wood. Section 1, that means is basically is what you've seen on visible for the termite damage already. Those are, they're telling you, okay, if anything, you can not show, section 2, that's been possible. The section 2 basically is say if the wall is wet or somewhere like area is got a moisture, then possible without opening the wall, you don't know is it did they have the termite or not. And you gotta ask a permission from the seller, say, may I open the wall? I say, yeah, you could though. That's a section 2. If I open it up, you see the termite damage, then becomes section 1 because now you see it visibly in your eyes. But once you open the wall and the stud doesn't have a termite, I'm so sorry, buyers, you help me to patch the wall. You have to pay for the cost to patch the wall because you insist you want to open the wall to do the inspection. That's a section 2. Why I say with 1 year warranty? Because some of our free, we got a lot of free inspection termite company. I don't know, did you receive quite a few phone calls? Yes, I do. Those are free inspection termite company. If they come out doing the inspection and found no termite, because yeah, 5% of a house or condo, you may not find any termite damage. They preserve so good, or they just did the treatment. Well, since they come out for free, and they do an inspection report for free, and they say they have no termite, believe me, they won't give you 1 year warranty. I already come out for free. Well, what do you mean? I have the guarantee for 1 year later? From the day that you close the escrow and with free of termite? No way. But most of a buyer has a mentality to say, yeah, the termite company should have a 1 year warranty. But unfortunately, the seller finding those termite company, it's a free inspection termite company, so it doesn't cost them anything. Because it happened like that. Those free termite inspection company, they just kind of look at it. Because I have the client, because now they become my client. Okay, they bought the property. I told them, I say, since that property, other agent showing you, go through them, please. It's a short sale. Go through them and have them submit the offer for you, not me. Even they are not happy with that agent, but okay. Later on, I know got a lot of trouble because they get in the free inspection termite and they just kind of look at, okay, I have no problem. Yeah. Half month later, they found out, underneath the wood floor, there's a termite. Then can you tell the seller to pay for it? If you did not put this, as the contract, you cannot after the seller. So, huh? Oh, yeah, I'm so sorry. Oh, okay. Yeah. Another, yeah, I missed it. A good thing, we close the escrow. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, seller to buy that. Yeah, he got me. That's okay. The seller's already paid for it, so it's okay. Yeah, we already closed the escrow. It's okay. Yeah. So that's the we usually ask the seller to pay you a 1 year warranty, home warranty, and now I may change to $600 because the $550 just probably this one, because the townhouse, we know the roof is covered by the HOA, so the leaking or anything on that, so that's why I mark a little bit less. If a single family, I would increase to 600 because usually the cost about $510 with the roofing, with the upgrading coverage plus the roofing. Okay. So those are, but I mean, and that's a 1 year home warranty issued by, you can choose whatever home warranty company you wish though. Yeah. Because we got so many home warranty company out there, so you can choose whatever you want. And also following option, the coverage, certainly, we want an air conditioning. If you have a pool and spa at a single family, for example, okay, then you better play safe. You better increase your coverage to about $800 because a pool equipment, it may cost about $100 to $150 on the coverage. If a saltwater pool, you better increase $900 to $1,000 because the saltwater pool equipment costs even more. If you read those guidelines, if you're not so sure how much the property you've seen it, and you don't know is it saltwater pool, or then you can always check with the listing agent. Or if you're buying a house with a custom home, did they have a septic tank or with a storage? Because sometimes the septic tank, you better have the seller pay for a septic tank home warranty too. That's another $100. So when you keep on adding up, If some of our custom home they have the built-in refrigerator, are you going to cover that? Oh, I think you better. Oh, that's another $50. Or even, you know, if the seller would leave you the a nice set of a washer and dryer, I'd like to cover that too. Easily $1,200 on the home warranty at the first year. When you really can start adding up, you know, all the features. Okay. If you're not so sure, don't be afraid to ask. I rather, you know, knowing everything instead of I regret I did not ask. Our job, one thing I tell you, the basic issue is never assume anything. I assume, no. When you start assuming, when you start making any assumption, you put yourself on the risk and put your buyer on the risk when you start making assumption. I don't assume anything. It's okay. Don't feel the shame as if I ask. I'm still asking the listing agent anything I don't know. That's why every time I submit an offer, I will always ask the listing agent anything I should know before I submit the offer. Anything you want me to, you think you need to disclose to the buyer's agent later on, let me know now. So I can prepare myself and prepare the buyers so it won't, so we can have a smooth transaction during the escrow. If my buyer have any concern for what you just mentioned, for example, somebody passed away naturally inside the house, that's a concern for some of people. And some people, they were even concerned where they pass away, in the bedroom or somewhere else. So you better find out. And those I will, because some of listing agent, they did not put it on agent remark. I will, but it's not everybody. They want more offer coming in later on when they come to, oh, the house is got passing away, you know, naturally, whatever the date may be, whatever the time may be. If it's my case, I would state it on the agent remark. If the offer coming in, and I may just accept it right away, but on the when I put an agent remark, and I will also put a disclosure as well. I put on agent remark where, when they pass away, where they pass away, and how they pass away. Yeah. And just reminding you, if it's natural death, 3 years. Unnatural death, forever. Unnatural death, that's considered suicide, homicide. You need to disclose forever. That's what we currently heard is like someone get a lawsuit, it's like, wee, just like that. Yeah, because it did not disclose it. Yeah. So we always learn from something new. Try not to learn from the mistake because the mistake may cost you a fortune. We'll finish on this. You know, so the buyers is informed that home warranty plan have many options coverage in addition to those listed above. Buyers are advised to investigate this coverage to determine those that may be suitable for buyer. So you have to disclose to your buyer, you know, what the coverage is. Or you can mark here, if the buyers waive the purchase of home warranty plan, nothing in this paragraph preclude the buyers purchasing the home warranty plan during the terms of this agreement. If you decide to waive the purchase, the home warranty now, but during the escrow, if you want, the buyers want to purchase home warranty, yes, they could come back to, but that's a case you usually may have to pay for yourself. I don't think seller will pay for you anymore because you didn't ask for it. It's not part of a deal. Can you buy the home warranty anytime? Yes. Even during the escrow or even after the escrow, as long as buyer you pay instead of seller pay. Because here we are asking seller to pay for it. That's different. Okay. All right, we'll stop here. Then we'll come back, you know, on the paragraph number 8. Item include, in, and excluded. Thank you for coming. Yeah.
因为你刚才说的那个，就是
tenant
Yeah.
必须要签的一个就是